Hi, welcome to Tikkun's weekly Davar. The Torah portion this week is Metzorah, which is the fifth portion in the book of Vayikra, which is Leviticus. We're talking again about the Metzorah, this kind of mystical disease, affliction that used to come to people who had, as kind of a message, as kind of a wake-up call to somebody. The rabbis say we don't really have it. It doesn't exist nowadays. It was mistranslated as leprosy, and it has similarities to leprosy, but it's not what it is. It's kind of a more miraculous affliction. Anyway, when a person got this affliction, the Torah says that he should go outside the camp, and he should cover his face, and he should, to anybody that passes by, shout out, Tomei, Tomei. But Tomei, Tomei Yikra, the Torah says. And Tomei, Tomei he should call out. Impure, impure, he should call to people. Now, since the Torah is written without vowels and without punctuation, the rabbis point out to us that phrase, that little phrase there, can be read differently. You could read it as Tomei, Tomei Yikra. The one who is impure should call out impure. The one who is impure will call out impure, And they tell us this, teaching us a psychological insight, that a person who is impure calls others impure. That when we belittle somebody, when we look down on somebody, when we judge somebody, we usually judge them with faults that exist within ourselves. If we look at somebody as being arrogant, and you look down on them and say, look, that's an arrogant person, more often than not, when you do that, it's because you're suffering from the trait of arrogance. It's because you're the one that's arrogant. Maybe they are, maybe they're not, but you certainly are. And let me just explain how that works a little bit. You know, we human beings are bothered by their own faults. We know we've got faults. We don't like having faults, and they bother us, they upset us. But we don't always feel we can change them. We like to change them, we like to be different, but they are who we are. That's kind of how we relate to them. But when we see those faults, and we just kind of accept them, and we accept that we're not going to like this part of ourselves, but that's just who we are, and we kind of push it down and ignore it. But when we see those faults in somebody else, it reflects back on ourselves. It kind of touches a raw nerve with us, and we're bothered by it, and we're concerned by it. And we think that we are bothered by somebody else, but in truth, what we're bothered by is ourselves. A humble person is not concerned when he sees somebody who's arrogant. He might feel like he'd like that person to change. He might feel as though it'd be a good idea for that person to change. He might feel care and concern. But it's not going to rile him. It's not going to frustrate him. It's not going to annoy him in the same way. And I think it's a great litmus test for us. You know, when we kind of find ourselves judging, when we find ourselves belittling, putting down, it's a great question to ask ourselves, is that fault in the other person, or perhaps that fault is in myself? Perhaps that person is just reflecting something that I'm bothered by in me. I really see it so clearly in marriage. You know, I know that so much more often than not, if there's something I'm bothered by in my wife, if there's something that annoys me about my wife, it's really something annoying me about myself. If my wife is late, and she really is never late, but on the rare occasion that she is late, it could make me really upset, because I've been late 1,000 times, and I don't like being late, and I'm frustrated at myself that I'm late. But I kind of push that away, but when I see it in her, then it really upsets me. But I'm not upset at her, I'm upset at myself. More often than not, when we judge others, the person we are really judging is ourselves. If you've solved all your own faults, other people aren't going to bother you with their faults. It's just not going to concern you in the same way. And so perhaps as sort of a message for this, and a practical message which I kind of like to have, is maybe instead of trying to change everybody around us, trying to judge them and see how they need to be different and how we'd like them to be different, perhaps we should first look at ourselves and recognize that maybe the person who really needs to change is me. Wish you Shabbat Shalom. If you're interested in finding out more about Tikkun, about the work that we do, about the ideas that we teach, please log on to our website, tikkun.co.uk. Thank you.